Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Zaria Off Script. I am your host, Zaria, and today, if you guys will allow, we're going to keep it off script. I'm really happy to be back again. This week has been really, really special. I celebrated my birthday on Wednesday, which I did drop episode 2 on that day. So that was really fun, like a nice birthday gift to myself. And it's not lost on me. I'm someone who doesn't believe in coincidence. So it's not lost on me that I did drop my second episode on my birthday. And I started my podcast during Virgo season, like loving the alignment, loving the alignment. So that was really fun. Um, but yeah, the week has been pretty interesting. A lot has gone on. And so just being able to enjoy the different aspects that life has taken me or the different routes that life has taken me and just the small time that I've been back home visiting my family has been really special, and I feel a lot of gratitude to my family, my friends, those I've been just like keeping in contact with, people who have been checking in on me. It's been really, really nice. So I'm really happy, and I'm feeling a lot of gratitude in my little heart. I don't really have any precursor that I want to talk about except for the brain rot that is my TikTok right now. The last 2 days, I believe, I've been watching these they're like short stories on TikTok, but they're short stories, but they go to another app. So they'll show you just like a little clip, but some of the clips be long, right? Like damn near the whole episode. Nonetheless, it'll take you to another app to go watch it. But there are these like really poorly acted stories with the most dramatic storyline. When I say I be locked in, like I'm tuned in. I need to see from top to bottom exactly what all is going on. And literally like right until I started recording, I was sitting here watching, like, let me catch up, let me catch these episodes, like, let me see what's going on because this is tea. And I refuse to go and pay for another subscription to another app or another, streaming service, whatever, because yeah, like somebody on TikTok gonna hook it up. We need to bring back the days of like piracy. Like literally bring back the days of recording on a camcorder in the movie theater with the person walking past in front of the screen. Like bring back those days. Like let me go to the dollar store, to the beauty supply, the barbershop, go pick up a CD real quick. Bring back those days because I'm not about to pay for another streaming app or another tier on Netflix. I can't do it. Like y'all, we in a recession. Let's calm down a little bit with these subscriptions. Nonetheless, that has been frying my brain crazy. Something to keep the people entertained, I guess. I don't know. The CIA is doing her big one, keeping the masses locked into the screens. I don't know, and I'm following suit, so I ain't gonna complain too much. Um, but today I really wanted to talk about community and community building. I want to say that that has been my buzzword for the last at least for the last year and a half, 2 years, but more specifically, the last week alone. I've been talking about community and community building so much with the people around me because I wanted to spend more time really deep diving into what it meant for me to invest in my community and what does that even look like, right? Um, Seeing that I've hit a new transition in my life, I thought it would be really important to transition and be intentional about the people that I'm having around me and about the support that I want around me and vice versa. What kind of support am I looking to give to my people? I really do enjoy the aspect of community building and what it means for you as an individual to foster really, really important relationships and be and like incredibly intentional about the time, attention, and effort spent with those that you love, those that you care about. I think it's so important to really think about who you're keeping in your circle, because what kind of energy are you feeding off of? What kind of energy are you looking to build off of for yourself? I think it's fair to say that most people, if not all, we've cycled through a bunch of different friendships, a bunch of different relationships. You've met a bunch of different people. And again, I don't believe in coincidence. Everybody that's come into your life has come in for some purpose. It's you're either meeting a eating. You're either meeting an NPC who's just here and then here one moment, gone the next, or you're meeting someone who stays for a little bit, but they don't stay entirely, but it's for a reason. And for whatever lesson you were supposed to learn along the way, you take that for what it is and you keep it moving and you apply it where it is applicable. I really do think now, as full grown adults, like in our late 20s, like I'm unk for real, or I guess TT, especially in my little garb. Like I'm feeling real TT right now. Like dang. But yeah, in our later years, it has really started to show itself to me what it looks like to now start building those foundational friendships and relationships that are going to last you the lifetime. Now, not to say force every relationship and force every friendship that you come around to stay because, they're people that you met as you get older, but be intentional about who you're keeping around you. What kind of person do you want to be? Are you looking to be someone who is about just like uplifting people around you and moving forward and we're motivating each other and we're going for our higher goals, da da da, or are you just looking to be more lax and cool? You will attract those type of people around you. And I'm starting to see it for myself, like knowing that I want to be more creative and I want to like bet on myself. And so, therefore, the people that I've met in the last year alone are all entrepreneurs in some way, shape, or form and have all bet on themselves. So, they've been able to give me insight in ways that I can now apply it in my own life and with my own career. And they've helped motivate me along the way as well. And it's really, really special. And I think I was able to do the same because I think I like to think of myself as someone who is just really like giving and caring and just showing up for the people that I genuinely care about in ways that I can. So being able to see that on the back end now has been really, really, really amazing. And it's not lost on me at all the people that have stuck around in the process because with transition you win some, you lose some, right? So I have had some relationships that have fallen off along the way, and I'm not going to get too deep into that at this moment, but you know knowing that I took it for what it was and I learned those lessons from those relationships that I had. And I can now say, as I'm moving on, I did appreciate and cherish those relationships and I can fully like carry them on along the way as I build these new relationships. That has been so important to me, and making sure that I now am taking care of myself and setting proper boundaries and thinking about who I want to be as a friend also, because it's not even just necessarily about what kind of friend you want to attract or what kind of people you want around you. That's important, but also what kind of friend do I want to be? And I have to call my mom out. Sorry mom when you watch this, but she did call me out on my little ones and twos and I can't even be mad. But I don't like to text, I don't like to answer my phone, and I love to rot in my house. Like I will be in the bed on the couch, like literally locked away like a hermit crab. And so she told me, like, real candid, shout out my Taurus queen. She told me, you're bad friends because you don't like to text nobody back and you don't like to answer your phone and you're always flaking on people. And I said, dang, like, dang, yeah, maybe you're right, queen. Like I can't even dispute that for real, because that truly has become the the embodiment of like who I am, and I don't like it. And I don't know, we're gonna call back to episode 1 where I'm like, I've just become so much more recluse, and that really genuinely isn't who I was as a person. I have been always introvert. I've been an introverted extrovert. I'm cool with being by myself. I love to be by myself, but I'm like social when it's time and I can carry a conversation. I can have great relationships. I invest in the people that I care about and da 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 da. My favorite parts of myself, genuinely. And so becoming now like more like, ooh, why are we going outside? Like, what's that about? Almost like agoraphobic. I dead don't like going outside. I don't like that. I don't like that because, man, I'm missing the best parts of life. And truly, being able to go outside, like smell the fresh air and see the green trees and the blue sky and the yellow sun, like on some coloring book shit, it really does like make me feel good. And like getting back to the act of interacting with people and like laughing with strangers, building new relationships. Hey, oh my god, let me get your Instagram. Like we should, yeah, like what happened? Let's get back to that. So it's made me go within and made me think about what kind of person and what kind of friend do I want to be and how do I want to treat myself. Let's get deep for a second. I think it's important for you to truly start within first. And this is not news. I'm not breaking news, right? But I do think now that I've come around full circle to go within, think about how I want to be for myself, and then how do I want to show up for other people? Because they go hand in hand, right? And consistency is the name of the game. And I have to start to learn to be more consistent with myself and stop breaking promises to myself. And that way, then I can show up for my friends, and I think I'll be able to receive the energy back because I do believe in the yin and the yang and the give and the take, as above, so below. If I'm putting out, I'm going to get it back. And if I'm putting out for myself, not being consistent, not holding my promises, not setting my boundaries, not then I'm going to meet people who do exactly that. And as, frustrating as it is and as fucked up as ooh, can I cuss? As messed up as it is, like that's just how it goes. So dang, I'm like literally therapizing myself in real time because now I'm like starting to realize like actually I need to I need to start like treating myself better because then I'll have people around me that treat me better. Yeah, let's give her tens because she ate that one a little bit in real time, like literally therapizing myself on camera. I don't feel no shame though because this is real. This is what it's about. Like sometimes you have to talk yourself through it to finally get to the point. And I love a little talking out loud moment so I can get to the point. Um, but yeah, man, like I'm so about community. I was in the car with my mom and my sister the other day. We all went to breakfast together and that was amazing and I love that. But my sister, and shout out to Terry, like she's young, but she started talking about the bartering system and I'm like, dang, like I remember when I was your age, like literally in that mindset. It's all part of the life cycle, babe. But the bartering system and like mutual aid and how we need to get back to that. I'm like, yeah, and my sister does hair, right? So I'm sure she has a little service for service she's participated in before. And, just like community, y'all, like we have to get back to building our communities. It takes a village. Like we have to get back into the mindset of leaning on your people for resources, for emotional support, for love. And you have to be able to give that too. Let's get into it. There's a quote that I have that it's been ringing in my mind, and I'm not sure if I'm saying this quote right or wrong, but listen, the sentiment remains the same. The quote is the cost of community is the price of inconvenience. Okay. That hit me like a ton of bricks. And I saw that somewhere because the whole conversation was about like children. Little backstory, I don't want to have children and I don't necessarily care for children too much, but I'm at the age where my friend group, my circle, my peers, we're all at the age of, people are looking to start their families. Now, as old as we are, and not old, but like as grown as we are and mature in life and experience, my friends are unserious as freak. Okay. All of us are unserious as hell. Very serious about our job and our career, unserious about this family and relationship shit. And honestly, conversation for another day. I'm going to pinpoint this. It's really just the dating pool. Like, sorry, but like, we don't really got too many great options to us. And add in like sorry but the economy is absolutely garbage trash. That being said, because we have to acknowledge all the factors, that being said, when it comes time for any one of our friends to decide that they're ready to start their family, it's no longer, oh my god sister, like what are you gonna do, you're pregnant, like did you tell your mom, are you scared, girl, you're 27. Like yeah, actually it's about time you start your family. And so we have to get away, and this is me talking to myself again, get away from the idea of being scared and fearful of like life accomplishments and life changes. Now, accomplishment for me isn't having a baby. Sorry, like that's just not. But that's for Zaria. Like that's not my tea. But I know that there are people in like around me that genuinely are excited and looking forward to having like starting their family and having a baby. And so I can't run away from including myself in that process and showing up, continuing to show up for my friends and now my little niece or nephew, and be a part of that life, bringing back the village and bringing back like all hands on deck when it comes to these children and making sure that, mom just had the baby. We need to go over there as a sisterhood or as a friend group, because I think the men are included in this. You're not exempt just because you're a man. Go over there and help take like watch little Johnny for 2-3 hours while mom can either get her errands done, get her chores done, or take a nap if you need, and help clean up and help cook. And why are we like showing up to people's houses empty handed? We're all grown. And my friends, all of my friends are some form of African or Caribbean, very few American friends. All that being said, though, we all know how to cook and cook good. So why are we showing up to each other's houses empty handed on some like, oh, I'm just here to vibe? Why are we not bringing like a little casserole, a little dish, a macaroni pie? Thank you. Shout out Trinidad. Why are we showing up without like a little rice and peas, a little oxtail? On some like, yeah, I just made this because I was cooking and I figured I'm coming over here. Let me bring you some. Can we like get back to that? And again, me speaking to me, because I have me a little hyperfixation on some curry as I moved in my house. As amazing as it smells, I know when I leave, yeah, it's gonna be me. Sorry. It's a real West Indian that was living there. The house smelled curry down. Why am I showing up to my friends' houses without a little Tupperware of some food that I made? Just on some like try it. Like try it out. Like tell me what you think. And yeah, like let's get back to that, please, because that is the aspect of, and if we're really trying to start back with this mutual aid and this bartering, and like it takes a village, it takes, we have to get back to sharing our resources. Hey neighbor, like I know you need some sugar, or I have some extra because sure, don't give away your groceries, right? Because everybody needs their groceries and it's expensive outside. But if you have something in abundance and you are interested in, fostering a relationship with those around you, whether it's somebody new or your literal friend, share. And I really would love for us to just get back to that and like into how important it is. So that's something I've been thinking about a lot. And I'm scared, like putting yourself out there in a way that makes you uncomfortable is very scary and it's very jarring, but it is incredibly important. And so I want us to start thinking about that more, and to not to get political, but to get political. This is the time where we really need to start to lean on our community, and we have to start leaning on the people around us to make sure that we're all good. Now, I'm going to get personal, but I'm not going to speak too much. Like I said, most, if not all of my friends are some form of Caribbean from whichever country, or West Indian, and some form of African. Very few Black American friends I have, but they're there. We need to make sure that we're good. Okay, there's Trump administration doing its biggest one, and it's working. The system is working, and it's working overtime. We have a responsibility to check in on our people, make sure, yo, you're good, you got what you need, everything in order. And it doesn't just stop at groceries. It continues on. Yo, you have your paperwork set, like you have this, did you have an appointment for this, da, 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 da. Making sure that you're checking in with your friends to confirm, like, yo, you're cool, like is everything okay? Because anything, nobody is exempt, nobody is bigger than the program. And unfortunately, in the country that we live in, we have to be able to check in where you can and acknowledge the privilege that you have, whether you're a US citizen or you're a permanent resident, whatever that looks like. If you can offer some additional support and resources, or point somebody in the right direction to make sure that they're cool, do that. You have a responsibility. And I hate, oh God, like I'm going on a tangent. I hate this idea of like, no, I don't owe anybody anything. Like nobody owes you anything. No, you have a responsibility as a friend and as someone coexisting on the same earth with other people. You have a responsibility of being and showing up and being a good friend, a good person, and showing respect. And if you have friendships and you have circles that you are a part of and that you care about, your responsibility is to make sure, as best as possible as you can and within your own limit, making sure that your people feel heard, feel like welcomed, feel supported, most importantly. Now, that's going to look different for everybody, right? not everything can be monetary. Not everybody can afford the monetary glitz and glam of it all. But if you have just the time, you have the brain space. Sometimes you have to put aside your own nonsense to hear out somebody else's nonsense and shoulder that emotional baggage and help them through it, and vice versa. It's not just a take, it's not just a give. You have to be able to balance that when it comes in, right? And so you show up for your friends and for your people the way that you best can, but you have to show up. I think what sparked that thought process for me was the conversation of like a lot of our generation, the younger generation, don't get me to lying about the Gen Z, the Alpha girl, the younger generation, people don't be showing up no more. You have an event, people don't show up. You have a milestone, people don't show up. You have a birthday dinner that you're celebrating, people don't show up. And it really does suck because a lot of it has to do with I'm just tired. I don't have the emotional capacity, my mental health, like oh my god, it's really crazy how like seeing how people have started to weaponize mental health and or lack thereof in a way that like it excuses them from the responsibility of being a good friend. That sucks. Or people are having babies. People aren't showing up to baby showers, and people aren't showing up to the birth of the kid. People aren't showing up days later or a month later, you know, depending on how the family feels, to go and see the baby and check in on mom and dad and see how everybody's doing. Oh, I have a lot going on. Like, damn, like we are really selfish. And my token, and I'm trademarking this one, the individualistic mindset that we have adopted as a society is actually killing us and dismantling our unit, and capitalism and fascism is winning because of it. I'm going to write my dissertation one day, but it all comes together when you do not have a united front of people that agree on the same things and support each other in the same ways. You allow for supremacy, the patriarchy, and for capitalism to do its biggest one. And it's really tearing us apart. And that's why a lot, I think that also just contributes to the ongoing mental health crisis of people feeling alone and I don't have any friends and I don't have any support. It's because we've become so selfish in not being able to show up for each other that everybody's just like, well, if you're not saying happy birthday to me, I'm not saying happy birthday to you. Well, if you don't come to my birthday party, I'm not coming to your birthday party. Well, if you don't, oh my god, and it's a cycle. It really is. It starts at one point, but it just keeps going. But when are we going to say, okay, stop the cycle, stop it in its tracks, stop it where we're at, and let's just flip it on its head, do something different? We have to take responsibility of where we're at now in the way of literally switching it up. Not to say, and look, getting to the root of it is important, but if you spend more time talking about the problem and not fixing the problem doesn't change. It's important to know. It's the same thing with history. You have to know your history so that you don't repeat history. But now we have a responsibility of actually doing something differently. So I think that, you know, that's something I've been thinking about a lot and it's been on my mind a lot recently. And I'm big enough to say I haven't been the greatest friend and I haven't been the greatest, you know, family member. I have been thinking about that a lot and I really am going to hold myself accountable now moving forward with, you know, becoming a better whatever, a better friend, a better girlfriend, a better sister, a better daughter, a better granddaughter, because I don't be seeing my grandparents and talking to them as often as I should. I just found out my grandfather's 90. I'm like, dang, like dang, my grandfather is 90. Like, my grandparents are old. Y'all, what the heck? My grandparents are old as hell. And I love them. Like, God knows, like, I don't know what I'm going to do when that time comes. Y'all going to have to take me with you. I don't know. So, while I have them here still, it is very important for me to invest in that relationship, show up and communicate, talk, you know, like love on my people while I have them, because we won't have each other forever. And I don't think it does us, any of us, any good to just look back on the memories and oh my god, I remember when. You have them now. I'm good for thinking ahead in the future and like bumming myself out because of it. I have these people now. While I have everybody around me now, I'm going to focus on that. There's no better time like the present, right? So I think that's something that we should all take a little bit of consideration into, and just start to apply it in your life where you see fit. You know, it doesn't hurt to become a better person for yourself, of course, but also for your community. So just a little piece of food for thought. Okay, guys, so we're going into our next segment where I read Reddit stories and I try to pull stories that align with the topic we talked about. So this one definitely has a little bit to do with community, but not necessarily community building, just community and your neighbors. We're going to apply it where we see fit. All right. Okay, so pulling from Am I the Asshole for Refusing to Accommodate My Infertile Neighbor? Sorry for the formatting in my writing. English is not my first language. My husband, 29 male, and I, 28 female, have been living here for 5 years, ever since we married. Our previous neighbors were an adorable couple in their 60s to 70s. We had a fairly good relationship and were kind of sad when they left. This year, I gave birth to my son, 6 months. When my new neighbors, let's call them Paul and Anna, moved in, I was 2 months pregnant. We weren't friends, but we would say hi to each other here and there. I sunbathe every day. It's something I've been doing since childhood. I was very anemic. I was a very anemic kid, and my mom made me do it to help with my anemia. I don't even know if it works, but it is a habit that helps me start my day. This was not a problem until my pregnancy became apparent. The left side of the yard has two kinds of fence, one low, 1.5 meters, that used to have a hedge on the neighbor side that they cut off, and one taller, 2 meters, in the rest of the backyard. I could read y'all, I promise. It's hard to see it from the ground, but they still can see our whole yard and part of our main floor from their second floor. When I was 5 months pregnant, Paul told my husband that my sunbathing was making them uncomfortable. I sunbathe in shorts and tank tops, nothing out of the ordinary. I just ignored them and kept my routine. The following month, he did it again. Until my 8th month pregnancy, I was back from a walk with my husband, and Anna was in the front of the house. When she saw me, she stormed inside and slammed the door. The following day, Paul came to our house and told us that they have fertility problems, and seeing me pregnant was making her heavily uncomfortable, and I was an insensitive bitch. Currently, I'm working from home and the baby is close to me in a playpen in the living room, and we have another one in the backyard on the terrace. So I can have him close when gardening or just playing with him. Well, I made his wife uncomfortable again yesterday. I was in the living room playing with the baby when he knocked. He asked me to move from the living room because his wife could see me from their balcony. I told him to tell her to look in the other direction and leave me alone. Today, my husband and I were grilling some meat in the backyard. The baby was hungry, so I started to breastfeed. When I looked at their house, Anna was on the balcony. She went in, and a few minutes later, Paul was at our door again. I gave my son to my husband, and I answered the door. Paul went off on me for breastfeeding in public, again, my fenced yard, and being inconsiderate. When he finished, I told him to leave us alone, don't knock on my door again, and if his wife is so upset over seeing a baby, she needs therapy and not him harassing my family. And I will do everything I want in my own home. At this time, I felt justified, but I was venting with my mom and she told me I was wrong and I couldn't understand because I never suffered from infertility and I need to apologize. So, am I the asshole? There's an edit. Let's answer the question first. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You lost me. I'm sorry. Like, this story fried me so bad because not only like am I in my own home doing these things, but you're watching me from your home. Like, you're being weird. You're watching me from your balcony. You're watching me in my living room. You're watching me in my backyard, and you're creating an issue when I'm enclosed in my own quarters. I'm in my fenced yard. You can see it, but I'm still within my own premises doing what I please with my pregnant belly. Like, what are we talking about? You're telling me that I can't sunbathe on my balcony because your wife is insecure about the fact that she can't have a kid? Now, let me say this now. You can have, and I have empathy for women who struggle with fertility issues because that is a really hard thing to deal with, especially as someone who wants to have a family and wants to have babies. But that empathy, I draw a line when you start to make it my issue and in a really nasty way. How dare you send your husband over to come call me an insensitive bitch in my home because I'm in my home doing what I please, playing with my kid, breastfeeding my baby on my backyard. What are we talking about? Like, are y'all like, I need people, and this is hard because it is part of the human experience, but when people are dealing with something that traumatizes them or just affects them and their mental in a way that is beyond belief, they project something like I've never seen before. It can get so nasty and so like it don't even have to go all the way there, but you can't see past your own issue. So you make it everybody else's problem. Fertility is a very sensitive subject because we live in a world where we should be living in a very 100% pro-choice world. You either want kids or you don't. So if you want kids and you can't have them, I understand the plight of dealing with that and how like disheartening it must feel, and seeing other people who can have them and are able to have the experience that you can't. But that doesn't give you the green light to treat people like shit along the way. So, yeah. And then the mom telling her, like, yeah, you're actually wrong. I'm wrong for defending myself and defending my family. Like, I'm confused. Anyway, let's go into the edit. I sat down with my husband to talk about the precautions. I was so annoyed that I wasn't thinking about the risks. We will be installing cameras and a taller fence. Unfortunately, the vision from the balcony will stay the same because the city won't let us build taller than 4 meters, but this will help anyway. I called my dad to get some help with the fence, and he ended up talking to my mom. She called and apologized. She suffered from infertility and postpartum depression. When I spoke to her, she felt Anna's pain, but she also remembered some crazy things she did at that period and gave me some extra precautions to take. About the restraining order, we called our lawyer. He told us to get a few footages because until now, we only have our word and other neighbors' testimony. And if he shows up again, to record it and call the cops. If he came to my house 5 times, to call the cops each time. But still will be hard to get one. Okay. Yeah. So, no, not the asshole at all. I think that, especially with the mom coming back being like, I apologize because I wasn't able to think clearly. I was just siding with this one person because I shared an experience. Then admitting that during that time she was doing crazy things during her infertility, but also with postpartum because she did end up having a kid, right? So, with postpartum, and that's a whole different subject. Going crazy during that time is very big of her to admit, but it's like it's scary. And this woman, the neighbor who isn't going through postpartum, she's just going through the woes of infertility issues, like, sorry, but I shouldn't be having to look over my shoulder because I have a baby and you can't have one. Now I'm worried about you throwing a brick in my window. Like, what is that about? And sending your husband over to intimidate me. Now, if I punched him in his freaking forehead after all of that, I'm wrong. Like, I would be wrong if I threw like boiling water because I felt threatened by him coming over to my house to tell me about what I'm doing in my own house and then calling me an insensitive bitch. Like, you're on my ground, you're on my front step, cussing me. What are we talking about? Like, I'm confused. So yeah, no, not the asshole. And I think she's handling it pretty well. I would be a little bit more reckless and a little bit more combative and, say some things that I probably shouldn't. But that's me. Everybody don't need to be doing that because that's not always the way you handle it. So yeah, shout out to her for handling it the way that she is. And I hope that, the situation got better. I'm not even gonna go and look and see if there's an update. Like, the girl is doing what she needs to do. Thank you guys for coming back to another episode of Zaria Off Script. I really enjoyed you guys being here with me and chatting. I hope you were able to take a little bit of something that I said today and apply it to your life. And I hope to catch you at the next one. Bye.